Kris Mackowski of Emerging Civil War. I'm standing on the shore of Mobile Bay. The Gulf of Mexico is off in that direction behind me. The city of Mobile is off in that direction, just past those oil rigs that you see out in that direction. Nearby is Fort Morgan, one of the three forts that were protecting the opening of Mobile Bay. Fort Morgan, across the opening the bay 3 miles, was Fort Gaines, and then guarding the back door was Fort Powell. Up the bay in that direction is the city of Mobile. The bay stretches some 33 miles to the north. It's about 23 miles wide at its widest point. Ships couldn't go all the way up from the mouth of the bay to Mobile, however, because about 10 miles south of the city is the Dog River Sandbar, which stretches out almost all the way across. And it makes the bay, which isn't all that deep to begin with, only about 8 feet deep when the water is low at low tide. So a sailing vessel from the sea couldn't get across that. So it could only get as far as the sandbar, and then little commerce boats using little flotation devices called camels would move them across, move goods and supplies across the sandbar, and then continue them up to the port at Mobile. That's why when the Battle of Mobile happens in August of 1864, federal ships don't sail all the way up the bay and capture Mobile. It's not until April of 1865 that the city will actually fall. But what's really important about the Battle of Mobile is that because the Federal Navy does control the mouth of the bay, it's able to cut off the trade that's kind of zipping in and out through commerce raiders. There's been a very active commerce raiding industry through here that had helped get supplies in and out of Alabama, and that's all shut down once the Federals are able to choke this off. Now, the Federals also can't just land an army here and march up and capture Mobile. They'd originally thought about doing that. The commander on the ground here, Edward Canby, doesn't feel that he's got enough forces. He figures it's going to take somewhere around 20 or 25,000 men to be able to capture Mobile. But in the summer of '64, think about what else is going on. Grant's bogged down outside of Richmond. He's going to draw troops from other areas up to help bolster his forces so he can try to break that stalemate with Robert E. Lee. You've got William T. Sherman, who is marching toward Atlanta, trying to break that stalemate there. And so this theater then becomes sort of a victim of the more urgent need for troops in those two theaters. And so Canby's not going to have enough men here. So as a result, when Gordon Granger lands across the bay there to take on Fort Gaines at the beginning of August of 1864, he's only going to have about 5,000 guys to do that with. And it'll be a while before Canby's able to build up enough forces to finally make his assault forward in early of 1865. So real interesting dynamics. We're going to explore that through a series of videos. Chris White, our ECW co-founder, is going to be here to walk us through some of the actions and sites that you can find here around Mobile. I'm excited to be sharing this wonderful city with you, which I just first discovered in the summer of 2022, and it is a fantastic place to come to explore Civil War history. I'm glad that we'll be sharing some of that with you here at Emerging Civil War. For my colleagues and for Chris White, I'm Kris Mackowski. We'll see you online and on the battlefield.